Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mingby. My name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. Today I am going to take you along with me to, it's called The Shed, and that essentially is what it is. It is a large shed, and then it's broken into different booths. Vendors come in, they rent the booth, and then they put their merchandise in there. It could be new items. A lot of vintage items are there. Just personal items I think are in some of the booths, kind of like a small rummage sale. If you've seen my previous videos recently, you know that I am trying to kind of step out of just selling clothing, shoes, and accessories. I do sell some hard goods now, but I just don't have a lot of knowledge about that. So I thought I would go to this place and just kind of look around, see if there's any vintage items for me to flip. I don't think that there will be, just because I imagine that a lot of these vendors know what they have, that the prices will be kind of on par with what you would put on eBay. So I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes people are going to be moving out of these booths, so they have run sales like 50% off. So maybe we'll get lucky there, or there could just be something that I want to buy for personal use. So now I will get going and show you the footage from that. Starting off, I was in this booth. They had a lot of the older dish sets, the carnival glass. I like looking at all of this, but I am just kind of leery on shipping any of it. You need a lot of packaging materials, and you definitely need to know what you're looking for. I wouldn't suggest going to a place like this and just buying a bunch of, vintage dishware without knowing what the comps are, just because there is quite a lot of it out there. The next booth had a variety of different items. These cookie cutters I looked at, and this type of booth, they know what they have, so they aren't going to be pricing anything that's going to be, much under what you would get for eBay. So you just have to really make sure when you go to vintage stores like this that you're really checking comps. I picked these up. I couldn't find them on eBay. I'm not sure, maybe they're not really Raggedy Ann and Andy, or maybe they were like homemade or something. I couldn't find anything on the George Washington ones. This little cookie jar was super cute. If this was kind of my color scheme in my kitchen, I probably would have bought that for personal use. This booth had 50% off everything in theirs. This isn't just a vintage store. People can put whatever they want in their booths. So this one kind of had a little mixture of everything. I do collect vinyl records. We listen to a lot of that at our house. These were unfortunately not really what I'm looking for. They were pretty much just kind of run-of-the-mill older records, and the prices were pretty high. I checked this bin out because I saw the Scentsy. I used to sell Scentsy actually a couple years ago, and I know that people will pay for it. If this whole bin would have been full of Scentsy branded waxes, I probably would have picked that up. I should have looked at that mushroom plate. I must not have seen it when I was going through. Anything mushroom is very hot right now, especially if you can find the canisters or the cookie jars. Definitely keep your eyes out for those. This booth also had, normal clothing. That was a Time and True jacket from Walmart that they wanted $16 for. So definitely some of these vendors are a little out of touch, I think, of what prices should be. I don't even think I could get $16 on Poshmark or Mercari or anything for a Time and True jean jacket. This was a little push pin. I think that was made. It didn't come like that originally. It must have been like a little dish. I tried looking up something like that on eBay and I couldn't find any comps. Sometimes when these booths are so full, I almost get like too overwhelmed, and I normally just kind of leave them because it's just too much for me to look at. Vintage Tupperware can do well. You want to make sure that you are picking up the correct pieces. Use Google Lens or eBay's Lens to check. Here were some newer Tupperware, the stack of the pastel. If that would have been older, I probably would have picked those up. That's a highly sought after color scheme in the vintage Tupperware. These Campbell mugs, they wanted $10 a piece. As you can see, one of them went for $9.99 on eBay. Those are kind of dime of a dozen. You see them quite often. I checked out these skateboards. The one in the middle is vintage. The one on the right, I think, is a little bit newer. Skateboards can definitely go for quite a bit. You want to make sure that you are looking at the quality of it and make sure that it is a true skateboard, not something that you're getting from Walmart. This booth had a lot of really cool older hats, but a lot of them were priced up and some of them were pretty damaged on the inside. I love picking up vintage Halloween. These little buckets I normally find at Goodwill. And on the bottom it will have the name of the bucket and sometimes it'll have the year. So just double check those when you're out at Goodwill during Halloween time. They normally don't price them up for very much and they're pretty easy to ship. Here were some vintage clothing. A lot of this was branded to the area that I live in. This jacket was kind of cool, but I just really wasn't in the market right now to purchase anything that's fairly expensive, that the prices were here. These prices were just a little bit higher than what I was willing to pay to flip anything. Here's another booth that had like Funko Pops. I don't know much about them. For what I know, you need to make sure that you have certain ones are worth certain prices, so I just don't even really look at that kind of thing. Here's milk glass. This is another one that you will find quite frequently at rummage sales and Goodwill. Some are worth more than others. This was a mystery box. I thought about buying it so that we could open it at the end of this video, but the more I looked in that box and what they had in their booth, this person obviously knew what they are doing. They had eBay tape on there. So I figured there definitely is not going to be probably anything in there for me to sell, and it probably was just a box of junk. So I ended up passing. You can get quite a bit of money for these like antique portraits of people. So if you ever go somewhere and you find old photo albums, you might want to take a look at them and check it out. Some of these pieces caught my eye, but the prices just really were not in my price point to be able to flip, so I ended up leaving all of these behind. I don't normally look at Avon at all. It's just I don't really know what I'm looking for. I know some Avon that's discontinued can go for quite a bit, but I normally just don't really look into that very much. This was a booth that had modern day decor. I felt like most of it was overpriced. This wreath that I'm going to show you here in just a second, I think they have $15 on it. So definitely you want to make sure that you're looking at the prices, and you know, a lot of this you can find other places for cheaper. These Pyrex nesting bowls, I love Pyrex. Once again, certain colors, certain styles go for more. You just want to make sure that you're looking up comps. There was some homemade soaps in this booth, just kind of a mixture. This back room has just a whole open area with all these tables. They have furniture, Just a bunch of stuff back here. The booths back here are not as curated. They seem to be kind of more of just like a hodgepodge of older items, newer items. It kind of gives you more of a garage sale vibe than an actual vintage curated booth. The clothes back here that I looked at, they were priced, you know, super cheap. I think like $1 a piece. This definitely is just someone trying to get rid of their own personal items. It's nothing that they've bought to sell at this booth. I'm not exactly sure how much that costs to get a booth here. I might look into it at some point, but we'll see. I know that there's always a wait list for them. I thought this video was a little bit different than some of my others. I do love looking at vintage items. It just brings a lot of nostalgia from when I was younger. A lot of these items I remember seeing in my grandma's house, or, you know, aunts and uncles or babysitters, and it's just really kind of fun to like look at all of that. Unfortunately, I didn't end up buying anything. Prices were just a little bit too high to flip. Since I was, you know, filming most of it, I didn't take a look at everything. Maybe I'll go back another time and just kind of slow down and not film anything, and maybe I'll find something for personal use. If you enjoy content like this, I also do unboxings, what sold videos. On those videos, I do give you all of my numbers, so it does give you a realistic look at what it's like being a full-time reseller that doesn't have like a super large social media following like some of the other big YouTubers. I do unboxings, come thrift with me, so if any of that is interesting to you, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm getting really close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it. I will see you on the next one. Bye!